Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to It Came from Beyond the Videostore Shelves, the video podcast where I go through this massive stack of unwatched VHS tapes I've accumulated over the years. And we're going to go through and watch a movie each episode that I've never seen before. And then I'm going to come on here and tell you guys a little bit about it. And today, we're going to go all the way back to 1992. And we're going to take a look at a movie based off of some Lovecraft works called The Unnameable 2. Now, admittedly, I did not go back and watch the original again before watching the sequel. I did watch The Unnameable when it first came out. I want to say it was 1988. If I remember right, the original came out in 88. Could be wrong. I kind of vaguely remember the details of the movie. Was not a massive fan of it. It's one of those movies that kind of is what it is. It wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't a good movie. It's a one-time watch. But came across The Unnameable 2. I did not own a copy, so I went ahead and picked it up. Mainly, the cover art of this tape is not horrible. It's a Prism release. But the main reason I picked this up, funny enough, is this new release sticker on the front of the box here. And at the time, I thought it was hilarious that whatever video store was renting this particular copy of The Unnameable 2 would put a new release sticker on the actual cover of the box, because obviously this is not going to be a new release forever, but instead of like shrink wrapping it and then putting the sticker on the shrink wrap, or just having it in a new release section in their video store or wherever they were renting these tapes, they put it on the actual box, which I thought was super hilarious. And it's weird because it's usually like little kind of stupid things like that would make me pick up a tape that maybe that I normally wouldn't pick up. But of course I would have bought Unnameable either way, because I usually buy anything horror that I run across. But the sticker was a plus for me, which is kind of crazy. But that's just one of those weird things that VHS collectors kind of get into, I guess. Anyway, getting into The Unnameable 2. So this picks up pretty much right where the original left off. So it opens on, the police department showing up at Winthrop Manor and removing all these dead bodies, the aftermath of what occurs in the original Unnameable. And they have one survivor that they're going to rush to the hospital, and they're kind of trying to, figure out exactly what went down, what happened to cause all these dead bodies. So you have a friend of the survivor who was a guy that was pretty slashed up. So they rush him to the hospital, and then you have his friend that takes the Necronomicon that they found from Winthrop Manor, and he takes that back to his college dorms. So a little backstory on this is Joshua Winthrop, who was, the original inhabitant of this manor way back when, was tasked with doing a English translation of the Necronomicon. And somewhere along the way, he fucks up, and he ends up conjuring a demon, the Unnameable, which is so said to be a demon so vile that it couldn't be named. So there you go. And anyway, he summons this demon, and it possesses his daughter, and it turns his daughter into this vile, hellish creature. So anyway, time passes, he dies, and the daughter, or demon, is kind of inhabiting the house. she's staying in the attic, just kind of chilling out, and she is feeding on bodies by digging a tunnel from the house to a nearby cemetery. So whenever the town would bury a recently deceased citizen, this monster would burrow to the grave and eat the remains to stay alive for subsistence. Anyway, so you have this little college guy. He decides that he wants to get some praise. He wants some, Facebook likes. He wants some thumbs up, the recognition, to get all these little hot science groupies. So he's going to make it his mission to prove that this tale in this little small town, that this story is true. He's going to prove that this monster is in fact real, and this monster is what's massacred these college students. So he enlists the help of a college professor, as well as the survivor of the original incident, a friend of his. So he convinces his friend to leave the hospital and team up with him and this professor to go, and I don't really know what their plan really was. They just said they was going to prove this thing was real. I don't know if they were trying to capture it. I know the massacre survivor wanted to kill it. So they all kind of had ulterior motives. Anyway, they go out there, and they jump into one of these grave tunnels. So they're searching the grave tunnels, and they come across the beast itself, and it's trapped there by some debris. So it's stuck, can't get away. It would probably, starve to death. They could have shot this thing and ended it. They could have taken a couple pictures, maybe a video, shot this beast. Probably could have got a couple million selling, the monster body on eBay or something. But that's not what they do. They decide that they're going to take a sample from this creature and they're going to peek at it on this microscope. So they take a sample and they're looking at it under the scope, and they determine that there's two sets of cells. So they hypothesize that not only is the creature there, but the original host is still alive as well. So they get this idea that they're going to attempt to make the body look like it's failing, and then the monster would leave the host. He would just move out. So the professor decides to inject this thing with some insulin in an attempt to bring it into, insulin-induced shock. They do that. It works. Some lightning shoots every damn where, and the monster leaves the host body, leaving a completely naked Miss Winthorpe sitting there. And they decide that, we're gonna, everything's over. The monster's gone. Now we're going to prove that this woman is, 300 years old. And that's going to support their case that this monster is real. So, and this kind of brings us to the first part of this movie, which there's a couple parts that just didn't fucking make any sense to me. Is that, so the professor decides he's going to stay in the tunnels for a little while. He wants to, do some experiments, record some shit, take some notes. So he sends his partner, this college student, along with super naked Miss Winthrop, and they're supposed to go back to the dormitory. They're going to all meet up there. But then all of a sudden, the creature pops back up out of nowhere and kills the professor, which kind of made no fucking sense to me. Like, what was the whole point of this creature having to possess this host in the first place if he had the ability to exist in the same exact body without the host? Because it wasn't different than the creature they found. Like, the creature they found wasn't like this woman, just demoned out. But it looked exactly like the creature did whenever he just magically comes back out of nowhere, which is, I don't know, that kind of didn't make any sense to me. So now you have, these kids hauling ass, and now the creature is right behind them. He wants to get his host body back. That so say he could only exist so long outside of this host body, which is how they kind of try to explain that, oh, now the monster's still there even though he's separated from this host, and she's, running around naked like half the fucking movie. But they decide, okay, homeboy isn't happy. He still wants his his notoriety. He still wants to make waves in the fucking science community. So he decides that he's going to bring this woman, this host body, and he's going to meet some other professors, some other scientists that's going to be able to, prove her age. They're going to carbon date this chick so that they could say beyond a doubt, this is how old she is. The problem is, this whole time, this monster's right behind them and just fucking everybody up. He's killing all their friends. He's killing like the entire police department. I think by the end of the movie, there's like no cop, maybe one cop left. He kills all the cops. So that it's like kind of the same process over and over. He brings this girl to the dorms where he meets all these other college students, and he gets some help, he gets some clothes, he finally gets this woman dressed, and then the monster shows up. He kills all their friends. They escape, and they decide, oh, we're gonna go to this medical building, and we're gonna meet this other professor. And guess what? The monster shows up, kills the professor, kills a couple more cops, and they have to flee again. And this time they head towards the library, because apparently what happened is Mr. Winthrop was unable to save his daughter way back when, because this particular copy of the Necronomicon that he was translating was missing pages. Apparently these pages were so dangerous they were removed from the book before they gave it to this gentleman to translate. And miraculously, this college student knows exactly where these pages are. He knows exactly where they are, and he's going to go and he's going to find the pages and he's going to save the day. So that was the plan. They go to the library. Of course, the monster's right on their ass, and they're going to get these pages, and he's going to reverse this curse and all this bullcrap. So, they get to the library. The thing kills a couple more cops. They finally find these pages, and that's where the whole thing kind of gets a little stupid again. First off, he's sitting there, and he's struggling to translate these new pages. This monster is right on your ass, and just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he finds the time to fall in love with this woman. It's like all of a sudden he's super in love and they want to make out and they're going to live forever and all this crap. And it's like, dude, you're about to fucking get eaten, man. And, you know, all your friends are dying around you left and right, all because of you. And, like, you're going to take this time to fucking make out with, like, this 400-year-old chick. So he's sitting there, you know, and they'll keep fucking make out a little bit, and then they'll translate some more pages and shit. And then, you know, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he finds out that this girl can magically speak this forgotten language, which he makes a big fucking deal out of. And she's like, oh, well, I can't read the pages because I can only speak it. I can't read it. And he's like, oh, well, that's forgotten and nobody knows how to do that. But yet, he's doing it. He's translating the pages. So that shit didn't fucking make sense. Finally, the monster shows up and he starts reading passages from these pages that's supposed to fix this thing. And guess what? They fucking do nothing. The pages do nothing. It does not hurt the fucking beast at all. Does not hinder it. Does not slow the fucking thing down. Does jack shit. And, you know, I try not to kind of give away too much on the end of a movie, but I'm going to give away the end of this movie because the end just fucking pissed me off too. So now all of a sudden this creature's kicking his fucking ass, throwing him all over the place. And this girl decides, okay, I can't, you know, do anything. I can't stop this thing. So I'm just going to merge with it again. I'm going to give myself to the monster. We'll merge together. Then maybe I could go back to hiding in the fucking attic and save the new fucking love of my life. I'll save his life. So she starts to merge with this thing that's fucking taking forever. They walk into each other and they're just like standing there. And homeboy finally wakes up from getting thrown against the wall and he's like, you know what? They shot this thing a couple times. Nothing hurt it. I'm going to fucking hit it with a chair. That'll save the day. So he grabs this fucking chair and he goes to hit this beast. And they fucking shove this girl out the way. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the beast starts to merge with the fucking chair. And this chair turns into a beast chair. And that's how they fucking kill this thing. It's like it was taking fucking 30 minutes for him to merge with this woman. But he like almost instantly merged with this fucking wooden chair. And then they really kind of don't even show the chair good. You know, it just falls and it's like, oh, now the chair has skin or whatever. It's fucking stupid, man. It's like you killed all your fucking friends are dead. All the fucking police are dead. And now, after this beast is merged with this chair, all of a sudden, this woman, Miss Winthorpe, starts to age rapidly because she was linked to the demon itself. So the demon was keeping her young the whole time. So she's fucking turning into a skeleton and shit in his arms, and it's all soppy and crap, and nothing happened. It's like there was no fucking point for this movie whatsoever. All you did was fucking like kill a bunch of people for nothing. You know, at the end of the day, it was like fucking unneeded DLC to the original. You know, the movie didn't go anywhere. It didn't have any points. It was just bloatware, you know, which is really sad, man, because it was shot well. You know, you could tell that they had a budget for this thing, and then they just wasted that budget to make just a really shit movie, man. It just wasn't good. You know, they could have went out of their way and made, you know, a good story around the original instead of just kind of. It felt like they just made the original one an hour longer. You know, it was a cliffhanger that they wanted to do to just add to the fucking end. But none of it really made sense when you watched it. You know, this, and what a fucking crapshoot of an ending. We're gonna turn the monster into a wooden chair, and then burn this chair, and it's all gonna fucking be over. But you accomplished nothing. Okay, you lost the fucking 300-year-old chick you was trying to bang. She turned into a skeleton. All your friends are dead. You know, they never took a picture of this thing or anything, so you have no proof that anything happened. It was just really a waste of time watching this movie, man. If I had to give this thing a rating, I'd have to give it like a 3. You know, even the effects, they really didn't show. There was a high body count in this flick, but they really didn't show much of the murders. You know, there was one decent scene where the first science professor dies. Whenever they meet him at the hospital, the beast shows up behind this guy and punches through his chest. So you see the arm kind of rip out the chest, and that was pretty cool. But most of the death scenes was just like it slapped him, and now they're sliced open from his demon claws, you know. And I really don't like shitting on movies like this, because I like whenever they try to go beyond just there's some guy killing people, then, you know, the basic slasher formula. I really like when movies build the monster. You know, you have like a pumpkin head and stuff like this where they're gonna build a creature like a deadly spawn. But you know, it falls short, man. Even the monster design I wasn't super impressed with. I mean, you could tell the suit was kind of cheap, but it just didn't really look cool. Like the face reminded me of like a cat almost. The face looked like the prosthetics from, you know, Sleepwalkers. And it just had wings and fucking hooves, and it was hairy with some horns. But I mean, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't even close to a pumpkin head. It was not terror-inducing. I mean, it was cool, but they just dropped the ball on this, man. It could have been so much better. They could have did so much more with what they had, and they just didn't. And they really just wasted everybody's time with this movie, in my opinion. I didn't care for it. Like I said, I'd give it a 3, just because it was watchable. This is the kind of film that if I went out to the theater and saw this, or even if I went to a video store and rented this movie, I would be pretty upset. You know, I'd be like, man, I wasted my fucking money on this shit film. But that being said, if I ran across this on like USA Up All Night or Monster Vision or something, if I just flipped through channels and found this on cable, you know, I would probably enjoy it. It wouldn't be that bad. It wouldn't be that bad of like a made-for-TV horror film. You know, but to actually have the tape of this, it wasn't not that great. At least that's my opinion. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. Episode 3 of It Came From Beyond the Video Store Shelves for the Unnameable 2. Was not a fan. Did not care for it. Probably never going to watch this again. But, of course, you know, everybody likes different shit. Everybody has a different opinion. So, you know, if you liked the Unnameable 2, you know, drop a line in the comments, man. Tell me what you liked about it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you could change my ways. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Of course, you could catch us on our YouTube channel, Clarivius Video. I'll be posting the video podcast there. If you do not want to watch the videos, if you'd rather hear the audio versions of these podcasts, you could find us pretty much anywhere that offer podcasts. We should be on Apple Music, we're on iHeartRadio, we're going to be on Amazon, we're on Google Podcasts, all under It Came From Beyond the Videostore Shelves. So if you want to follow us that way, please feel free to do so. If you want to watch us on YouTube, I'm super fine with that too. Do me a favor, make sure you like the videos, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing a bunch of different tapes as we go through this big stack of movies. The Unnameable is the first one I came across that, I just didn't really care for too much. But you're going to have those. They're not all going to be good. And I believe next, we're going to probably end up doing 2 episodes this week because I have some free time. And I do believe the next episode that we're going to be taking a look at is going to be this guy right here, Shallow Grave. So I'm probably going to watch this tonight. And let's see, was this 1987, 88? We're going to check out Shallow Grave tonight. And I'll make a video, over the next couple days. And we'll talk about this next. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging around. And until next time, man, y'all be good.
It had waited for centuries, feeding on the dead, foretold in a book of blood. Foreseen only by the few who dared.
You know about this. You haven't the faintest idea what forces you've stumbled on.
Something unearthly. Something unstoppable. Something unspeakable.
Oh my God.
H.P. Lovecraft's The Unnameable 2. The Statement of Randolph Carter.
Oh, great. It's a bitch.